Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are really getting into something I think everyone wonders about. How can we actually unlock our memory's potential? Get better at learning, studying.
It feels universal, doesn't it?
Exactly. And we're digging into insights from someone who's, well, proven he gets it. Ramon Campayo,
Yeah.
a six-time world speed memory champion.
6 times. That's quite the credential. Serious mastery.
Right. So our mission today is to pull out the practical stuff from excerpts of his book, Maximize Your Memory. Like, what are the methods, the surprising psychological angles, things you can use to absorb info faster, hold on to it, and maybe feel less stressed about exams and learning?
And it starts with a really fundamental idea he puts forward. Memory is this incredibly powerful tool, probably one of our best, but most of us just don't use it fully.
We underutilize it. Why?
Well, a big reason he suggests is because it's mainly housed in the subconscious mind.
Okay, subconscious versus conscious. Let's unpack that because it sounds really important. He says our conscious mind, the part that reasons and chooses, is kind of separate.
Yes, separate from the subconscious, which handles automatic thoughts. And, crucially, that's where the memories actually get stored. It's like a huge filing cabinet back there.
Huh. So how does that work day to day?
Well, think about it. Everything you sense, sights, sounds, conversations, it gets stored unconsciously. You don't consciously decide, I'm going to memorize the color of that car.
Right, you just see it.
Exactly. But later, you can often recall it quite easily, maybe for the last few hours or even days. Your subconscious just recorded it automatically. No effort needed.
Okay, that makes sense of those tip-of-the-tongue moments then. Or when you totally blank in an exam, even though you know you studied it.
Precisely. The information is likely in there, in that subconscious storage. But your conscious mind can't always just, command it to appear. Access isn't guaranteed.
It's not like flipping a switch.
No. But, and this is key, Campayo argues that while it's not 100% controllable consciously, you can get really good at accessing it, like 99% control with the right understanding and techniques.
So it's about learning how it works, the mechanisms to gain better access.
Exactly. Working with your subconscious, not against it.
He also mentions senses, doesn't he? Visual being the strongest, then hearing.
Yep, visual's number one, then oral. That feels pretty intuitive for most people, I think. We remember faces better than names sometimes,
Oh,
right?
definitely.
And he makes this point that seems obvious, but is crucial. You have to actually memorize something intentionally first if you want to reliably remember it later. This is different from that automatic daily recording.
Right, this is active learning.
Yes. And there's this interesting concept he brings up, subconscious censorship.
Censorship. Like my subconscious is hiding things from me. Why?
Well, it ties into stress and perceived danger. If remembering something is linked to, say, a really stressful experience or feeling, your subconscious might actually make it harder to recall. It's like a defense mechanism trying to shield you from unpleasantness.
Wow, okay. So my own mind might block me thinking it's helping with something.
It is. It highlights how psychology plays into memory recall, not just storage.
Okay, so memory's largely subconscious, potentially censored. What about the actual stuff we're trying to learn? He splits facts into two types.
Yes. Pure facts and sequential facts. Really useful distinction for studying.
Pure facts. Those are the random bits.
Exactly. Things with no real logical link, like random number sequences, foreign vocab words out of context, maybe historical dates that don't seem connected.
Country capitals.
Country capitals, perfect example. For these, just repeating them over and over. Campayo says that's only good for the short term. Long term, you just get confused or forget.
Okay, so what are sequential facts?
They're the opposite. They have a logical flow, a connection. One thing leads to the next. His classic example is a movie plot, like Titanic.
Ah, right. You remember the basic story easily because it unfolds in order. Boy meets girl, ship hits iceberg.
Exactly. That sequence makes sense. He argues these sequential facts form the skeleton of any subject you're learning, the main structure.
The chapter outlines, the historical timeline, the steps in a process.
Precisely. And for these, repetition or reiteration is actually the best way. But think of it like watching that movie multiple times. Each time, the plot, the sequence, gets clearer and stronger in your mind.
Okay, now here's where he kind of flips the script on how most of us study, right? He says, don't go too deep on the first pass.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Get the skeleton first, the sequential flow, the main ideas. Then go back on later reviews to add the details, the pure facts.
Like watching the movie first for the plot, then watching again to notice the costumes or background details.
Exactly that analogy. Trying to grab everything The main plot, the random details, the pure facts all at once on your first try, it just overwhelms your conscious mind. It makes it harder for the subconscious to even build that basic structure effectively.
Get the framework, then hang the details on it. Okay. So for those pure facts, the random stuff repetition doesn't work well for. What's the most powerful mental weapon?
Ah, this is the core technique. Far-fetched or outlandish associations.
Outlandish associations, like weird mental
Oh,
pictures.
totally weird. And the reason it works goes back to the subconscious. Our minds are wired to notice things that are bizarre, unusual, highly emotional. Mundane stuff gets filtered out
But something totally strange grabs its attention.
powerfully. It sticks, and it anchors the information you want to remember. Plus, making these weird images is actually more engaging, less stressful than just rote drilling.
Give us some example. You have some wild ones, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, imagine a farm tractor, okay? But instead of digging up dirt, it's digging up glass light bulbs. And as they come out of the ground, they just automatically light up.
A tractor harvesting light bulbs. Okay, that's memorable.
Or picture a stork hanging upside down from the ceiling by its legs, and it's holding a light bulb in its beak. And you turn the light on and off by pulling the stork's legs like a pull cord switch.
Pulling a stork's legs? That's hilariously absurd. I can picture that.
And that's the point. You have to visualize it vividly, like a mini-movie in your head. Make it feel real, even though it's bizarre.
And if you can't recall the fact till later,
He says it usually means your association wasn't strong enough, not clear enough, or maybe not quite outlandish enough to really grab the subconscious. It needs impact.
okay, that makes sense for things you can picture. But what about numbers? Or abstract ideas like, I don't know, justice or cold? How do you make those outlandish?
Good question. This is where his system gets more layered. For numbers, he uses a consonant code. Each digit, 0 through 9, gets assigned a consonant sound.
Like 1 is T or D, 2 is N, 3 is M, something like that.
Exactly. Then he used vowels and a few other letters like H, Y, X as sort of wild cards to weave those consonant sounds into actual words.
So a number like, say, 6409 could become what?
Based on one common system, maybe something like screw. SCRW maps to 6409 potentially. The exact code isn't the point, it's the principle.
And turning 6409 into screw helps because
Because you can visualize a screw. You can imagine that giant screw digging up those light bulbs or being pulled by the stork or whatever weird scene you create. You've made the abstract number concrete.
I see. Words are easier to use in these bizarre mental movies than just numbers.
Much easier for the subconscious. Then you can organize these number words. He suggests a mental chart picture, maybe 100 numbered boxes in your mind.
Like a grid.
Yeah. And you associate the word for number 1 with the first thing you need to remember, using an outlandish association. The word for number 2 gets linked to the second item, and so on, up to 100.
And because the number, like box 7, is linked to the item via that weird scene, you can recall them out of order.
Bingo. You don't have to go 1, 2, 3. If someone asks what's in position 7, you just access box 7, recall the weird scene involving the word for 7, and that scene tells you the item. The structure is built in.
That's clever. Okay, what about those intangible words like tenderness or sorrow or funny or cold?
Similar idea. Substitute them with something concrete that reminds you of the abstract concept.
So for tenderness, maybe a tenderloin steak.
Exactly. Or for sorrow, maybe someone crying. Funny could be a clown. Cold might be an iceberg.
Do you find a visual proxy?
Yes. The goal is always to get to something tangible, something visual, that you can then weave into your outlandish associations and link to your mental chart or other items. The proxy triggers the original abstract word when you recall it.
So you build these concrete anchors, tenderloin, clown, the word screw, and link those using the bizarre scenes.
That's the method. And he mentions you can expand this. Need more than 100 items, you could stack charts. Maybe imagine blocks of 100 inside a huge space like an Olympic swimming pool or your house or even outer space. Use a wildcard image for each block of 100.
It sounds like building these really detailed mental landscapes, way more engaging than flashcards.
Definitely more active and, frankly, probably more fun for your brain.
Okay, so Campeo wraps all these techniques, the associations, the number system, understanding fact types, into a whole study system. 3 parts.
Yes, the Ramon Campeo system. Personalization, memorization, and review.
Personalization first. What does that involve? Sounds important.
It's huge. It's about taking the raw material, the textbook, the lecture notes, and making it yours. You rewrite it, summarize it, organize it into your own personal study guide.
So not just highlighting the textbook.
No, much more active. And crucially, you have to clear up all your doubts at this stage. Don't move on with fuzzy understanding. He also suggests starting with easier topics within a subject to build confidence.
Get some wins early on. Makes sense. Like his Planet TX example summary, even within your own summary, you might layer it, right? Get the main points first, maybe color code them, then add details later.
Exactly. Tackle it progressively. Master the structure, the sequential stuff, then add the pure facts and details.
Yeah.
And this personalization phase is also where you might assign specific wildcard images for a whole topic, like using a taxi image whenever Planet TX comes up to help differentiate it.
Okay, step 2, memorization. This is where the outlandish associations and repetition come in.
Yes, this is the active encoding part. You use repetition for the sequential skeleton and the far-fetched associations for all those pure fact details you need to hang on to that skeleton. And he really stresses feeling and seeing it mentally. Create a mental video as you read or review your summaries.
A mental video, like playing the movie of the material in your head.
Precisely. Leverage that visual strength of the subconscious. Make it dynamic, not static text. It helps mimic how we naturally remember stories or events.
Makes sense. And the third part, review. He says this takes, what, 90% of the time initially? That sounds like a lot.
It does sound huge, but he argues it's absolutely essential for locking information into long-term memory. You've done the work to encode it. Review is what makes it stick.
So it's not just about getting it in there, but keeping it there.
Exactly. And it needs to be frequent, even short bursts.
Mhm.
Waiting for the bus, during a break at the gym, before you go to sleep. Just quick mental revisits to reactivate those links you build.
And he suggests a timing strategy, like learn new stuff earlier, review later.
Yeah, tackle new material, the active memorization, maybe morning or mid-afternoon when your brain is typically sharper. Yeah. Then use the evening, perhaps when you're a bit more tired, for focus review, consolidating what you learned earlier.
So the system is personalize it fully, clarify everything, then actively memorize using the right tools, repetition, association, mental videos, and finally, review, review, review.
Structure, active engagement, and constant reinforcement. That's the cycle.
Okay, so you've learned the material using the system. How does it help when you actually have to use it, like in an exam? He talks about different exam types.
Right. For written exams, some practical tips. Write clearly, obviously. Use full stops. He thinks it's somehow easier on the examiner psychologically. Try to answer everything, even briefly. Don't leave blanks if you can help it.
Show you know something about each part.
Yeah. And the interesting one, use a blue pen. He claims the light frequency is relaxing.
A blue pen for relaxation. Okay, maybe worth a shot. What about oral exams? Those can be nerve-wracking.
His advice there is speak slowly, speak quietly. It actually helps you stay calm and access your memory better. Control your gestures, don't fidget too much, breathe deeply. And crucially, keep your focus only on the question at hand. Don't let your mind jump ahead to worrying about the outcome.
Stay present. He also mentions things like IQ tests, right? Sequences, patterns.
Yes, numeric sequences, diagrammatic reasoning, dominoes. Those objective tests often used in selection processes. The source material gives examples, and the main point is, like any skill, you get better by practicing those specific types of problems.
But underlying all of this, especially exams, is what he calls the psychological factor. This sounds like a really big deal.
Oh, it's massive. This connects right back to the subconscious and its defense mechanisms. Intense fear, worry, pressure, they could absolutely crush your performance.
Down to zero, he says.
Potentially. It can cause physical symptoms too, nausea, stomach aches, and trigger those awful mental blocks where you know the answer is in there, but it's just gone.
Why does that happen?
The subconscious interprets that extreme stress as danger, so it activates defenses. It might shut down access to memory or cause physical discomfort, basically trying to get you to stop whatever is causing the perceived suffering or threat.
Like your brain yelling, abort mission,
Yeah.
because it thinks the exam is going to eat you.
That's a good way to put it. He even talks about phases. The worry starts far off, builds as the exam gets closer, and peaks right at the moment, sometimes causing a total freeze-up. Though sometimes, if you push through that initial panic in the exam, it can subside.
And he really points the finger at worry itself, doesn't he? Saying like 99% of people live in it.
Yeah, he calls worry a major detonator for these problems. And he argues it's often illogical. You're stressing about uncertain results that haven't even happened, like his analogy of worrying about a car crash before you've even started the trip.
It's wasted energy and potentially harmful energy.
He calls it psychological self-abuse. And your subconscious reacts to that self-inflicted suffering. It might block memory or cause symptoms to try and make the worrying stop.
Wow. So how do you fight back against that?
By understanding that your mind, especially your subconscious, responds powerfully to your feelings. If you consciously cultivate feeling good, feeling confident, your subconscious is more likely to cooperate and support those actions. You choose your feelings, he insists.
You choose your feelings, and that shapes your reality, including your ability to perform.
That's the core idea,
Yeah.
which leads directly into self-esteem. You have to be your own best friend. Treat yourself with kindness. Give yourself the same good advice you'd give a friend.
Don't beat yourself up constantly.
Right, because that creates a negative psychological environment where the subconscious feels threatened, not supported.
This makes that story about the 15-year-old student really hit home, the one failing multiple subjects.
Yeah, a powerful illustration. He was failing 5 subjects, but totally fixated and stressed out about just one really difficult one, pouring all his time into it, failing it anyway, and the stress was dragging everything else down.
He was stuck in a worry loop about that one class.
Totally. And the advice he got wasn't study that hard subject even more. It was the opposite.
Spend less time on the problem subject. Redistribute that time.
Exactly. It sounds crazy, but by reducing the intense focus and pressure on that one thing, his overall stress plummeted. And guess what?
His grades in the other subjects shot up.
Dramatically. He went from failing those to getting solid Bs. The pressure relief was huge. And later, feeling more confident and less stressed, he actually went back and mastered the difficult subject too.
That's incredible. It wasn't about ability, it was about strategy and mindset, reducing the psychological burden.
It made studying enjoyable for him, maybe for the first time. It shows how much our internal state affects results.
He also mentions practical tools for managing worry, like just using an agenda.
Yeah, simple but effective. Write down your tasks, appointments, deadlines. Get it out of your head and onto paper. It's like telling your subconscious, okay, this is taken care of. You don't need to keep reminding me and stressing about forgetting.
Offload the mental clutter, frees up bandwidth.
Exactly. Reduces that background hum of anxiety. So his core message on psychology is be consistent, believe in yourself, act courageously even if you're unsure, don't demand instant perfection, and crucially, stop worrying about uncertain final outcomes. Focus on the process.
Enjoy the trip, as he puts it.
Enjoy the learning. Enjoy the effort.
Okay, and finally, he rounds it out with some general advice for just overall mental performance, the basics.
Right, the foundations.
Yeah.
Balanced diet. He mentions things rich in phosphorus, magnesium, vitamins A and D, like milk, eggs, nuts, liver, carrots, plus getting some sunlight for vitamin D.
Good food, good brain food.
Moderate physical activity is important too. Helps clear the head, reduces stress, and getting enough rest and sleep is absolutely vital. Being tired just makes everything harder, creates those bad vibes he talks about that hinder your mind.
And your study environment.
Keep it quiet. Avoid distractions. Trying to study with the TV on. He compares it to watching a movie with headphones playing different audio reformat. You're just splitting your focus. You won't absorb it properly. Find a comfortable spot, usually sitting.
And that little exam tip, sit against a wall if you can.
Yeah, just to minimize visual distractions from other people moving around during the test. Little things can help maintain focus.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot. From the subconscious nature's memory to specific techniques like associations and number systems, the full study cycle, tackling exams, managing that huge psychological factor of worry, and basic self-care.
It really paints a picture of memory as something active, something you influence, not just passive storage. It depends on your techniques, your structure, and very much on your mindset. Repetition for the skeleton, weird associations for the details, visualize, organize, review.
And realizing that worry is basically self-sabotage, while self-esteem and choosing a positive focus are like performance enhancers.
Exactly. Campaio's core message feels like it comes down to this. Your mind, especially the subconscious part, is immensely powerful. You hold the reins. You choose whether to use that power to create suffering through doubt and worry, or to create positive results through belief, action, and actually enjoying the learning journey.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something to really mull over. If your subconscious is constantly picking up on your feelings, your beliefs, the subtle messages you send yourself, what are those messages you're broadcasting internally all day long about your own ability to learn and remember?
That's a powerful question.
And how could consciously changing those messages, really adopting that be your own best friend approach, embracing the enjoy the trip idea, how could that shift start to transform what you actually achieve, what you believe you're capable of? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.